Good morning. It is April 23rd. It's a Thursday morning, and we're so glad to have you just joining in with us today. I want to direct your attention this morning to the book of Luke, chapter 18. It's Luke, chapter 18. It's the parable of the persistent widow. Jesus tells the people, the disciples, the parable. But when he tells them the parable, he tells them exactly what the parable is intended to teach them. That's what the writer of the gospel says. He then spoke a parable to them that men ought to always to pray and not to lose heart or not to faint. And here was the praying. Now, the lesson here is to continue praying and don't give up. Don't lose heart. Don't become discouraged. Are you discouraged in your prayer life? Is there that persistent prayer that's been part of your life? You know what I'm talking about. That burden upon your heart that you keep asking God to answer. And it seems like the heavens are brass, at least for that issue. Well, here's what Jesus said. He likened it to a woman who was going before a judge, who was not a God-fearing judge. He didn't fear God or men. He just cared about himself. And the widow comes to him and she says, "Get me justice for mine adversary." There's somebody who had been abusive to her or misused her in some way, and she kept crying for justice, and she kept crying for justice over and over again. And he said, "Though I don't fear God or regard man, because this widow troubles me, I will avenge her, lest her continual coming she weary me." It's a strange comparison, because it's not like we're wearying God. Now, this judge is responding because she's wearying him. But he loves us. He wants us to come to him. So how much more will he respond to our prayers over time as we continue to ask than this unjust judge would to this widow? Don't stop praying. Especially when you're convinced that the prayer is according to the will of God, especially when your heart longs, often for the one you're praying for. Don't give up. Continue praying for our church body. Pray that God will give us wisdom as we come back together, that God will bring us back together in unity, that we'll have clarity in the situation and how to respond and how to care for those who are the most vulnerable among us, that we'll show love and kindness one to another as we come back together. And we're looking forward to seeing that happen again. May God bless. Have a wonderful day.